Science and Technology, 1950 to Present, by Ryan Greaves. Science and Technology, the 50s. In 1951, Chrysler introduced power steering into their vehicles. It was originally called Hydra-Guide. In 1953, radial tires were first introduced in American automobiles. They had been previously experimented with in European cars, but never in American. Automobile inventions of the 60s. ABS, which had been used primarily in airplanes until now, was being experimented with in cars. Four-wheel drive was redesigned and became more common in pickups and SUVs. And in 1966, EFI, or electronic fuel injection, was first put into vehicles. Automobiles of the late 60s and early 70s was the muscle car era. Cars were all about sharp looks and big horsepower. Unfortunately for automobile makers and Americans, in 1973 came the oil crisis. This led to many changes in modern automobiles. Out of the oil crisis came some of the new, more fuel-efficient vehicles that we see today. As you can see here in the chart, I've listed some of the models and makes along with some of the estimated highway mileage. There's also some pictures of what the vehicles look like. Cars of today are all about hybrids. A hybrid car is one that runs on two types of power, an internal combustion engine and one or more electric motors. Most hybrid vehicles are cars, although GM and others are introducing pickups and SUVs. Today, even the military uses hybrid Humvees. As you can see in the pictures, hybrid vehicles are used for all sorts of different things. You can see here in New York they have a Prius, which is used for traffic control, and on the bottom is a large bus that many cities are now buying for better fuel economy. Now I want to talk about appliances. In 1950, Zenith introduced the Lazy Bones. It was a plug-in device that could change the television channel from the comfort of your chair. In 1953, the black box was invented for flight recording. In 1954, the solar cell was invented. And in 1962, the cassette tape was invented by the Philips Company. In the top left is one of the original ads for the Lazy Bone remote control. The bottom left is a worker installing one of the first solar cells, and on the bottom right is one of the early cassette tapes. They haven't changed much over the years. Appliances of the 60s and 70s. In 1964, the 8-track tape was first introduced in automobiles. In 1967, the first home model microwave was invented. In 1971, the VCR was invented. And in 1972, the first video game, Pong, was invented. On the top left, you can see one of the first home model microwaves. You can't really tell from the picture, but they were very big and bulky. On the bottom right, you can see a screenshot of one of the first video game, Pong. In 1979, the first cell phone was invented, and as you can see on the right, there's a picture of a person using one of the early cell phones. In 1984, the compact disc, or CD, was invented, and on the bottom there you can see a picture of that. The new appliance of today is wireless electricity. It was first experimented with by Nikola Tesla a long time ago, and is finally being perfected to where you can run electricity to your lights, your TV, game systems, blenders, anything you may want to use with just a simple coil. In a few years, most new houses will probably be run on wireless electricity.